representing the Queen.
Gary should check here. He's got to hope that John is sitting behind him with an ace.
Raise 300.
This shows a little bit of innocence, but he's only bet a small amount.
Call.
Call.
Well, this is very interesting. This pot is pretty big. Who knows how much bigger it'll get? Any ace, any club. It's the flush! John Sugars has gotten out here. He's gotten out on the river.
How ironic is this? If this pot had been played differently, probably all the chips would have gone in on the flop and John would have sucked out. Instead, the way it's gone, poor Gary here, he's probably going to have to check on the end and call a bet.
Raise
Oh,
500.
can you believe this? He's betting out.
Gary Manning has 3 5s. And it's really only the flush out there to beat him.
Well, he's certainly not passing, that's for sure.
And with that 500, Gary Manning has 1,325 left. And the question here for John Sugars, do I commit everything? It's a bit unlucky for Manning here. Flopping 3 5s in the big blind and now getting it stuck up your bazooka.
Is he thinking that he's on a smaller flush, Gary?
All in.
Raise all in.
Wow.
Well, this is going to be interesting. I mean, Gary has got to assume he led out twice and twice he was called. So he has to put him on a flush.
It's not all Gary Manning's chips, but it's all the important ones. If he calls here, he'll be left with a hen-pecked scattering. The bet is 1,200 pounds more, and it's a huge, huge hand for Gary Manning to have to try and lay down here.
Call.
I mean, his kicker plays, he's called. He says, I don't believe you.
More, which means John is all in.
And Sugars
Gary
has
still
hit
got
this
chips
hand
available.
on the river and extracted maximum chippage
please.
with the best of it. A flush beats 3 of a kind in this man's
Ace, king
army.
of clubs for John.
Gary
He has a
Manning.
nut flush. King 5 is the hand for Gary. He has 3 5s.
Is in terrible
the hand.
trouble. Can't do anything about it. He's showing a lot of class to sit there stone-faced, but Sugars, big sigh of relief. This professional golfer has just holed a 40-yard pitch.
In one hand's time, it's going to be Gary's first position. So
Pass.
he might as well take it now or the next hand.
All in. All in. Nice.
You could do a lot worse for an all-in move with 150 pounds.
Pass.
And he'll be head up against the big
50
blind.
please. And Gary all in again. This time he's playing against Paul.
You're going to be saying that a
Showdown.
lot. I'll be surprised we got 2 queens. I've got 1.
Paul shows Queen
You're winning.
6 of clubs.
10 jack.
Gary shows Jack 10. Let's see the flop.
So Manning all in, he needs to hit here.
Flop comes.
And
6,
if he
4,
does
3.
hit a tenor jack on the Turner
Yeah,
River,
sixes.
he could
Paul.
start
And Gary needs to
thinking
check or
about
10.
hopes.
He
Only
has an
one
ace.
card to come.
Check
There's
or
6
10.
of them in the deck.
Last card, another ace. No help for Gary on next
And
player.
it's just not Gary Manning's day.
Get up.
Old Hatfield, it's back to the 8 Bells bar. Gary Manning,
Well played.
well, he's done himself a lot of credit here. And I wouldn't be surprised if we see him on a TV poker table once again.
The atmosphere is tense and quite oppressive because some people are trying to get reads in a big way off other people and lots of long stares at other people, which I just can't help grinning and smiling about. But it's it's part and parcel of the game. You get used to it. The hand where I lost most of my chips was a pretty big one to take. I didn't bet enough on the flop. Made a mistake. River saved him. Well, nothing more to be said. He got the cards. Good luck to him.
So Paul Davies lies in second place after that hand. John Sugars is still in front with 49.25. Sean Watkins is the low stack with 2,200. 3 little piggies have gone to the market. There's 4 big boars left in here, and one of them will go whole hog to the final table. Well, there's £100,000 on offer. Will it be John Sugars? He is the chip leader, Simon.
That's right, Jesse. And of course, with 4 players left now, the average has kicked up a little bit. The average chip stack is now 3,500. Only 2 of our players have got more than that. Paul Davis has got 3,900, and with a 1,000 chip lead, John Sugars is the dominant force on the table.
He's limping in here. Just calling the £200 opening.
Pass.
We're 100 and 200 now. And John Sugars has lived or died on this calling before the flop. It looks like he wants to get into the hands. He likes to play the flops. And he has kind of slowed down the other players by showing that ace-king earlier.
Yeah, possibly. But, I mean, the one person you don't really want to be playing flops against is Paul Davis. You don't want to allow him to see flops cheaply.
We'll see if Paul Davis has an exit strategy here. He's flopped the middle pair with the kings. But any ace beats him. And there's a couple ways for Sugars to play this. He could bet or he could check.
Interesting that Paul didn't bet it this time. When these two clashed before,
400.
Paul bet second pair, but this time, he, for some reason, he didn't want to.
Oh, this is dangerous. There's £1,000 in this pot. John Sugar has bet 400, and really, you can understand Paul Davis's predicament. Sugars could have any hand. It's difficult but not impossible to put him on an ace. Is he going to stick that much in?
Well, the fact that John didn't raise pre-flop means nothing, as we know. He quite often limps in with a suited ace.
Raise to 1,000. Raise to 1,000.
Well, this will get it boiling in here. And John Sugars does not exactly have the best ace in the world. Is he going to worry about his kicker? Both of these guys are playing blind man's bluff here. They've got machine guns.
All he's got to rely on now, John, is feel.
He's got Davis drawing very thin here. But from John Sugars' point of view, he could be the one drawing thin. Or even drawing dead. And he does have Paul out-chipped severely. Oh, these are the decisions that poker tournaments are made of. He's passed. You know, when Stu Unger won the World Series of Poker at the age of about 21, he was a little kid from New York, and I'm reminded what Johnny Moss said about him. He said, that kid may look like a deer in the headlights, but he's got rattlesnake in his blood. When you look at Paul Davis just sitting there, mild-mannered and stone-faced, I mean, but he is a champ.
You have to win the table to go through to the final, so I don't see much point in playing too conservatively. My advice to my fellow competitors would be not to try and bluff me.
Welcome back. 4 players still gunning for that elusive seat in the grand final.
Pass.
Fold by Davis. Darren Carmen, who has been watching the proceedings with interest,
Pass.
but stayed on the sidelines.
Call. Call.
Folding up shop. $400 in the center.
2 players.
And that's missed John Sugars completely.
He's looking back, pretending to see if he can find a 5 or a deuce.
Check.
He knows exactly what his cards are.
Turn card for free. That's changed nothing.
The thing is, Jesse, the reason he looked back at his cards was just to
300.
check whether he's got a 5 or a deuce, and now he's trying to represent it on the turn. Of course, Sean has actually got the real hand. He's hit 2 pair on the turn.
Yeah, that 4 gave him 2 pair. And this bet It's 300, but considering...
All in.